welcome to another episode of The Take On after the first Premier League week. Game week 1, we got rid of Anton as well. We made some changes, man, because I think the team here at Vive, they sort of said, look, we're going to have to assess how everyone's been performing and make some changes, and they probably come to the right
It's like the officials at Old Trafford. He's been stepped down for a week.
We're going to get there. But it's me and Danny taking you through this week's show. And let's start with my team. Let's start with Man United. I'm just going to ask this very simply, Danny. Should Man United fans be worried?
No, not yet. If I go back to my playing days, there's some opening days of the season that went really well. And you think, yes, I'm on for a good season. And there's other times it goes so badly, you just think, where's that come from? So I wouldn't be concerned after one game. I think the main difference in the game, they look to be a physical difference. Fitness level, sharpness. I mean, Wolves were really good. There was a few tactical things I'm sure we'll have a quick chat about. But sometimes, depending on where you've travelled, how much time the lads have had off, how intense the pre-season's been, the type of levels of fitness the manager wants to get you to. Sometimes it's not always about not working hard enough. Sometimes you can work too hard pre-season. And the first couple of games just hit your legs. So there's lots of little different things going on. But there did look to be a physical difference between the teams. Wolves looked sharper, looked physically stronger, played really well as well. And I think from a tactical, United got it wrong. I think, although the most important thing was the fitness levels and the physical aspect, I thought that playing Mount and Fernandez both high left Casemiro isolated at times. And when you look at the Wolves personnel, especially with Nunez, he's quite exceptional in what he does when he runs with the ball.
He's a highly tipped player.
He's a bit like, if you remember Moussa Dembele used to glide past people and get you up the pitch. So I think it would have been safer and probably easier for Mount to start a bit deeper, get on the ball, feel his way in, rather than have to play high. Because when you play high, you tend to receive the ball a lot when you're back to goal in tight scenarios. And you can lose a couple and your confidence drops. And he'll be fine, but I thought tactically they got it a bit wrong. But I don't think anyone expected Wolves to play. I mean, Cunha, he missed that open goal, I know, when he hit the post, but what a performance.
He was unbelievable, dropping off the front, deep into midfield.
Passing solid. Out from the back, calm.
Honestly, and I'd done a preview for this game with a Wolves podcast. And I was like, well, first game at home this season against Wolves, they've struggled. Gary O'Neill's only been in the job 4 days. Man United should be winning this comfortably. But then the more he spoke about his team, when you go, hang on a minute, new manager bounce, not much to lose. Yeah. Have a go at them. No one's expecting them to win. And actually, I think it was a mixture of Man United underestimating them, like you said, and getting the tactics wrong. And I was looking at it saying, we're losing all the duels, all the 50-50s. Yeah. Bruno Fernandez getting run past, Mount's getting run past because the gap's too big. The strength, condition. And I was like, get McTominay on ASAP. Get McTominay on this pitch. And he brought on Eriksen because he went down the side of, need a little bit of control. Someone put their foot on it.
Yeah,
bit.
I get that.
And even then, when Eriksen came on, with backs against the wall, mate, in the last, you were there, last sort of 5-10 minutes, it was hacking it clear, couldn't get out. Utter chaos. And I was sitting in the stands. I'm going, this is game week 1. I can't do this.
I think the other thing as well, and I was listening on the long drive home, I was at Old Trafford and on the way home, and there was a lot of discontent about the wide men's performance. I'm a big fan of Garnacho. Yeah. I think he was trying too hard.
Absolutely. I
don't think it was a lack of effort. He was trying to impact the game and please everybody and show why he's been chosen, rather than just playing his more. Sometimes you have to play two touch, just play, keep the ball moving. He was trying, and Semedo's quick. Yeah, so you've got to be clever with him. You can't outrun him. He
obviously, the biggest thing for Garnacho is can he kick on and be more.
He'll kick on.
Absolutely. Can he be more than an impact player? Because last year it was fantastic coming on. Actually, last time we played against Wolves, against Semedo, he came off the bench. Tired Wolves near the end of the game, ran through, sat Semedo down and scored. Yeah. This was it's a different thing to start football matches at that age with that limited experience. And he'll learn from him, but he probably needed to come off earlier. Anthony, poor. Rashford through the middle, couldn't get. He had the fewest touches in the first half. Didn't look at it, and it was not great. But can I ask you this? A lot of stuff on social media and Man United fans have been homing in on Mason Mount. And Mason Mount's brother, Lewis, came out, actually clipped up something from TalkSport actually and said, you're basically piling in on him. You know what you're doing with these stats because they put up 0 goals, 0 assists, etc., etc. Is it too harsh to look at Mason Mount in a 68-minute display in his first game and people be piling in on him? Because a lot of Man United fans are saying, don't get with a fuss about, shouldn't have got him anyway.
I hate it. I hate it. He's a talented lad who's settling in at one of the biggest clubs in the world. Nobody played well. Well,
Exactly.
Wan-Bissaka was the best player, I think. Other than that, not too many of them can hold their heads up. When you're playing in a team where the expectancy is so high on your first game, it's full at Old Trafford, you're going to be a bit nervous. It's human nature.
Yeah.
And they didn't have enough of the ball for him to ease his way in. He still worked hard. He still did his bits off the ball, trying his best with that respect. But he's going to get better. I don't worry about Mason Mount. You don't play two and a half years at Chelsea. I know last season he was injured a lot, but 2.5 years at Chelsea and be the best player and have good numbers, win a Champions League, be impactful in that run to win the Champions League, be the player of the year twice, and then become a bad player overnight. I think he was an easy target for some people.
Absolutely agree with you. From a Man United fan's perspective, I feel like there's a lot of fans...
They clapped him well when he come off, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he needed that.
No one was going to sort of, in the stadium, it's always different. Everyone's behind.
No, there was a few moans and groans, but I think it was moans and groans at everyone.
At everyone. There's a period, there's about a 6 or 7 minute period where you probably saw where Bruno just kept spamming crosses, overhitting him, underhitting him, getting run past.
Bruno,
then he was on the ground, his foot was hurt, and we're like, Bruno, get up, we need you, bro.
Bruno looked off it.
Absolutely.
But I think, look...
But then he has that one bit of quality for when you need it, deft little ball over the top to Wan-Bissaka.
The bigger picture for United is early doors.
Yeah.
You've got to get the young lad fit and get him on the pitch so Rashford can get back to the left and do what he does.
Yeah.
They'll look stronger and fitter in the forthcoming weeks. I don't know what the pre-season's been like in terms of...
Hasn't been good.
No, I mean in terms of the fitness level.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I don't mind a bad pre-season if the lads are making their way towards something.
Yeah.
Ten Hag seems to have a plan and know what he wants to do.
Yeah.
The other thing is I was talking to Johnny Murtaugh before the game. He used to be
Talk to me.
He used to be at Fulham.
Are we getting more players?
Well, yes.
Or just... Oh.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But I can tell you that he was, without being 100%, he was intimating to me that there's more stuff happening.
Hear that, United fans.
So, I would be absolutely... I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying it's pretty obvious they need one or two more. But I would be amazed if there wasn't one or two through after that conversation. It's strength and depth needed.
I'm going to ask you one more thing about Man United, but just before we move on to that last topic on United and then crack on with the show, I just want to say on Mason Mount as a United fan, I feel like there's fans within the fan base who aren't sure on him, weren't sure on him when we bought him, so that wasn't their favourite pick. So the hounds are out. They're kind of just waiting for him to fail. They say could be proved right, rather than getting behind a player who's literally played 68 minutes in a game where nobody played well. And throughout pre-season, maybe he didn't shine. But again, it was a poor pre-season in terms of results. But like you said, it's about fitness. So for me, I'm like, it's our job as supporters to back the player. Don't get me wrong. If you have an opinion of, I'm not sure this signing is going to work in the long run, that's fine. But let's not, after one game, start putting up stats or start encouraging from outside the fan base people to rein in on Mason Mount. I don't get it.
I think it's a great point, and I completely... Well, I'll give you a quick example while we're on it, because Onana, we haven't mentioned, who had a good game.
Yeah.
He didn't really make any saves you would...
They were easy saves.
Yeah,
should be saving them.
Good positional play.
Yeah.
One down by his foot was a good one.
Yeah.
He was always in the right place. And the most, probably the best thing, his distribution was good.
Yeah.
But coming for some crosses as well.
Exactly.
Coming outside that 6-yard box. But let's put it a different way. If the penalty was given when he come out and tried, and don't blame him for coming out and trying to get it, by the way, he's made a mistake. He's clobbered the lad. It's a pen. We all know it's a pen. All of a sudden, his great debut and clean sheet and standing people loving him and clapping him, saying how wonderful he's going to be.
Cost us 2 points. That's what the narrative would be.
Yeah.
As Anton says, narrative FC.
So let's just keep things in perspective. From Wolves, I think the other thing, just quickly on Wolves, because they deserve a mention.
Absolutely.
Gary O'Neill, I know him, good lad. I could see much more on the front foot, Wolves, than last season, playing higher up the pitch, taking some risk, pressing higher. Everything about it was great. I know it's only one game, but I do not see them near a relegation.
Well, everybody has them down as this automatic. And even before the game, I was like, but hang on, look at their first team.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Strength in depth, maybe.
Yeah,
question mark.
they need
question
some
mark.
But they've got some flipping good players there.
Yeah.
Lastly, though, Harry Maguire.
Yeah, let's have a chat about Harry.
Let's have a quick chat about Harry Maguire, because it's transpired in the last few days that his move to West Ham has collapsed. And according to a lot of credible sources, the word out of Harry Maguire's camp is that he's happy to fight for his place and settled at Manchester United. Whilst he respects West Ham and David Moyes, there was never any agreement in place. Although, again, a lot of credible sources had suggested that there's a fee been in place. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm mistaken, I think even David Moyes, I think in a presser or something said, yeah, we've had a fee agreed. But I could be wrong on that. But anyway, the fact that he's willing to stay and fight for his place, knowing Erik ten Hag doesn't fancy him, that's very, very clear. Knowing it's very toxic right now for him in terms of the relationship he's got with the fans and his confidence is low. What's your opinion on that? Because and he's due a payout as well, so there was rumours that there's a discrepancy.
Well, we got to get straight to the point on it. I think if you're looking at what the figures are talking about, a 6 or 7 million quid loss with the whole package if he goes to West Ham, and United on the way out don't pay him what he wants, and West Ham won't make up X amount. So let's say it's between 5 and 7, and it's a ridiculous amount of money. And I know some people watching probably like, well, you know, greed. But you have to try and put yourself in that position. If you're not convinced by the move anyway, so maybe Harry Maguire deep down believes he's still capable of playing Champions League level. Maybe he does, because he's got confidence in himself and he's that type of lad. But that's hypothetical. He's probably looking at it going, if I'm going to take a hit on 5-6 mil, then I want the next challenge to be really good and really rewarding. Maybe something a bit different outside the box. Well, let's say it was a Milan team, right? Let's say it was a team in Germany where he's thinking different lifestyle, new challenge, fresh start. But he's actually looking at West Ham. Now, West Ham fans might not like it, but he's looking at it going, generally they have less possession. They've sold their best player. Yeah? Yes, they're in Europa League. But Harry Maguire's played in Europe for many years. You know, he's not going to be that bothered about that right now, playing in Europa League. So he's going to go to a team where he's going to have to defend a lot. Yeah? Yes, it's game time. And yes, it's a massively well-supported club where there's 60,000 every week. And I get it. But mate, I'm just trying to put myself in Harry Maguire's position. So you're not only asking him to lose 5 to 7 mil, you're asking him to walk into an environment that's very different to Man U. You know, all right, Europa League for a season, they'd have to see how that goes. But majority of last season, they're in the bottom half of the league, losing a lot of games. Yeah. So from a footballing perspective and a financial perspective, neither are perfect. Are you with me?
Right.
So is it fair to blame him and say, you should just want the new challenge? West Ham's a great club. You should go there. You could be captain. You could be playing every week. Well, I'm not sure that when you mix the both of losing over 5 million quid and going to a lesser team where you're going to have to be fighting for your life a lot of the weeks, I'm not sure it's that attractive.
Do you know what's brilliant about this is, so as an
I'm going to get hammered for that.
You will get hammered for that. Excuse the pun. You will.
But it's fact, though, isn't it? Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree in terms of, but I'm a fan. So from my perspective, I'm looking at a player who's got absolutely no chance of playing football at Man United, but very, very limited, Dan. Yeah? He started, 8 games last year. Erik ten Hag's made it abundantly clear this year. Of course, he can say in public, I'm happy with Harry to stay. He can become this and
I get all that.
When he picks his team, he's never in it. Even you were just there. Martinez had to come on at half-time. Who came on? It weren't Harry Maguire.
Lindelof.
It weren't the ex-captain. There's a reason why it's Lindelof. So he ain't going to play at Man United. You're then looking at the England situation. Like the back end of this season is going to be the Euros. It's that then will be, I'm telling you now, will be 2 seasons where Harry Maguire has hardly played any football. And he's going to have to walk into Gareth Southgate's office or have conversations. And maybe Gareth Southgate will still pick him.
You're assuming that no other move happens. There's nothing else in the fire.
I am assuming that.
And there's no loan move.
Because I don't think... maybe in January he might get a loan to West Ham. I don't see who's going to take him. People will take
this as me dissing West Ham. I'm just trying to stand in his shoes.
Ain't that his level, Danny?
Possibly, yeah. But as a West Ham fan, do you really want a player who's oohing about coming and probably will only come if he gets weighed in by United?
Oh, not now. Absolutely. If you're a West Ham fan now and you've seen that he don't want to come,
I know he hasn't said that. Yeah. So I'm not putting words in Harry Maguire's mouth because that would be disrespectful.
No.
I'm saying from the outside as a West Ham fan, it probably looks like he wants more money from United to go out the door.
Don't take the pay cut. What it looks like, Dan, let's just say, it looks like he'd rather sit on the bench in a hostile environment, knowing he's not going to... This is how I see it as a fan. You'd rather sit at Man United, not playing, keep the same wage that you're on. By the way, that's Man United's problem. That's your fault. You give him that deal. So he's within his rights to do that.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. And thirdly, no aspirations to actually to play. That's how it, because the situation at Man United, then I tell you now, it's untenable. It can't be
I
reversed.
agree. Can't
so
be.
That means he's saying he's happy to sit in that
And do
hostile
nothing.
environment and do nothing, but be financially sound, and that's up to him. Got absolutely respected.
I think there might be something else going on. I think there might be other.
And for Man United not to, and this is why I'm a bit annoyed at Man United, and we need to move on actually. But I'm annoyed at the fact that how Man United have not seen this coming when you know that everything's gearing up to Harry Maguire leaving, and then now there's a stumbling block of how you're going to compensate him.
There might be a way, even if they meet halfway.
Hopefully that happens. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Don't want it to be a whole Man United show.
No,
but,
I know you'd like it to be.
Exactly, but we got to move on.
Liverpool Chelsea, yeah, my team.
Liverpool Chelsea, yes.
I saw the team sheet and I was like, whoa.
What, looking at your midfield? Or
well, there's only one midfielder, isn't there? Well, Szoboszlai's a midfielder to a degree, but I was pleased with him. But I thought this could be anything, this game. Could be any score. And the first 25, 30 minutes, Liverpool bang at it.
Yeah.
High tempo, pressing out. Chelsea were a bit all over the place, bit nervous maybe.
Yeah.
Could have been over.
Yeah. If that second goal would have been
allowed. when that was disallowed, there was a change, wasn't there? It's like Chelsea had a kick up the backside and they really composed themselves well.
They did.
They got themselves back in the game. I thought there was some real pluses for both managers. A little bit disappointed with Liverpool's second half, like being dominated that much. I felt that it could have been... There was more in the game for them if they could just, get themselves back on the front foot, and they couldn't. Maybe they exerted too much energy in that first, because it really was a high energy press, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But pluses for Liverpool. Szoboszlai looked the real deal to me. I was really pleased with him. Apparently he's taken Milner's crown with the fitness levels and the bleed test and all that.
Okay. Is that what you're hearing? Yeah,
I'm hearing he's
They're going to need that replacement, yeah.
But it's obvious. I mean, Mac Allister's great on the
Well, here's on Mac Allister here. No Liverpool player won possession more times, 10, won more duels, 7, or completed more take-ons, 2 than Alexis Mac Allister against Chelsea.
No, he did
won
all right.
possession in the final third more times than any player on the pitch.
He did all right, but he's not a holding midfielder.
No? Klopp can't make him into one.
I don't think you want to, because if you look at his numbers at Brighton, he's a goal scorer and a creator.
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose that from your team.
Yeah.
It's all right if you're playing at home to Sheffield United, to Luton and the lesser teams. There's no disrespect, but where he's going to have the ball the whole game. But when you're playing away at the big teams, you need more of a physical presence in there. Someone spots danger, puts out fires. So hence the fact they went for Caicedo and Lavia. Liverpool, I think, can take a lot of positives from the first half. And I think Poch for Chelsea can take a lot of positives because they really did compose themselves well and could have won it. I thought probably the biggest plus for them was Jackson.
He looked sharp, looked good.
He's had limited game time over in Spain. They bought him on potential, as they have with a lot of their signings. He looks a real plus, and probably if Nkunku was fit, he might not have even started.
Yeah.
Enzo in the 8, quality, looked really
Best
good.
player on the pitch there.
Really good. The width given by the wing-backs, I was surprised. I don't think Poch will play wing-backs long term.
Really high, weren't they?
Really high.
They were like right and left wingers.
Well, they've got 5 or 6 wingers. So how are you going to play 2 up top?
Yeah.
They haven't really got
high.
an
It was
out-and-out
causing big
striker.
problems at the beginning.
But I think the positive for Chelsea is this. They've got a manager who really loves working with young players and improving them.
Yeah.
I saw that at Tottenham. So they're going to be great to watch, and they're going to get better over time. But I don't see any way they can compete with Man City for the league this year.
No, agreed.
I think if they get top 4, they've had a good
Great season. I want to talk to you about Moises Caicedo saga. Then now missing out on Lavia is what it looks like is going to happen. Again, you can never say never until they actually hold the shirt up and sign, but it looks that way.
Yeah, it does.
Where does that leave Liverpool, and how concerned are you about them doing the right business before the window shuts?
I'm not that concerned because the recruitment team will have plenty of irons in the fire and plenty of other alternatives that they'll be looking at. There's a lot of good players over the world. There is. I'm a big believer in that. Caicedo was picked up for 4 million. Kante was picked up from where? French second league or something ridiculous?
A few $100,000, yeah.
So there's players out there. There is.
How did they miss out on them two then?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that concerned me a little bit. When you get to a point where the club is negotiating with another club and get to a deal where they agree, normally, not every time, but normally the club will already know if the player is interested in coming. Now, as far as I'm aware, Caicedo has never had an interest in going anywhere but Chelsea. Now, what you could have is a situation where an agent has manipulated the club by saying my player would come.
Put a bid in.
The problem is with that, I find that a bit naive because the club's not going to work with that agent again.
Yeah, you still got to speak to the player to find out.
Well, I'll tell you what used to happen. I'll give you an example with Moussa. Moussa Dembele he had a 15 million clause to get out Fulham, and he'd been flying. Tottenham had been in, United and Liverpool. And I had a phone call from someone at Liverpool to see if he'd be interested. I had a chat with Moose about Liverpool and Man U actually on the bus one day, and there was just no way in the world he was leaving London.
Said, I want to stay in London. Don't care what club it is.
If he'd have said to me, if he'd have said to me, Danny, don't go back to Liverpool and say that. Tell him I'd be interested because he might want to.
Would have changed what
that would have put me in a position.
Yeah,
he didn't. He was honest, and I spoke to a person at Liverpool and said, "No way, not happening."
Yeah,
and they ended up signing Joe Allen, I think.
Yeah,
15 mil. That goes on all the time. How Liverpool didn't know Caicedo. So someone pulled me on this.
They've been done, haven't they?
Well,
100, and now they've put 115 million down. Everyone knows what they were willing to spend as well.
Well, I don't think Liverpool necessarily leaked that. That's got out somewhere.
Well, they put down 115.
Well, the fact that the deal was agreed and they were going to spend that.
Well, Klopp said it.
Well, there you go. So I didn't see that. But
he said we've got an agreement in place with the clubs, but the player, I don't know.
Well, the positive of that, and I hear where you're going. What you're saying is other clubs now know how much money they're going to spend. Causes a problem. It does. But the positive of that is there has been some talk and some negativity around the owners not backing Klopp.
Do you agree with it?
Well, not now.
Because they were willing to spend 115 million quid on him.
Yeah. If they're willing to do that, they're willing to back him, aren't they? But they're not willing to just spend stupid money on any player. Now, the criticism of Liverpool on Lavia was, why don't you just get that done a month ago?
But now look, and now you've lost him.
Yeah. I don't know the intricacies of it.
Yeah.
Again, the same thing applies. People may think I'm talking about the old days, but I still think it happens. Why did they... It's not done completely yet. I know the rumour is nearly done, Chelsea. But why do Liverpool not know before they negotiate whether the player's interested or not?
How's that happened? I don't know.
Now, Klopp might have spoken to Lavia. I don't know. So, for example, when Van Dijk moved from Southampton, he did speak to 4 different clubs. 3 or 4, I think. And Klopp sold him the Liverpool dream.
Did Liverpool have pulling power?
Well, Klopp sold it. And Liverpool.
But do you think currently now, they because Chelsea have beat them to 2 really exciting players.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Do you think Liverpool still have pulling power?
I think you have to be realistic with this, even though my heart with Liverpool and I understand the history and the worldwide support and all that stuff. When you play for Liverpool, that's it. You're known everywhere in the world. I don't think you get that with every club. Liverpool, Man U, probably the
absolutely.
I think there's a couple of factors. One is the obvious one, which is geographical. People want to be in London.
Yeah.
A lot of foreign players want to be in London for obvious reasons, and they don't want to be anywhere else. So that's one. And the other one, which I'm not sure on, because there is a bit of conjecture around whether this is true or not, but if you're getting an 8-year contract, it stands to reason to me you're going to end up with more money guaranteed than you signing a 5 somewhere else or a 4 somewhere else. Now, people are saying that Chelsea are actually paying less than people think, but paying it for longer. So I don't know. But it stands to reason, logic, that if you're signing an 8 years somewhere, your agent and the people supporting you, your uncle, your dad, your brother, whoever's going, look, you got 8 years guaranteed on however many.
But you're looking at Lavia and you're saying, in my opinion, I think he's perfectly suited for Liverpool. I think he'd do really well under Klopp. I'm like, he's potentially willing to go and play second fiddle to Moises Caicedo for a lot of the time.
These are the conversations.
And go and be in London, maybe more money,
I
more
hope
security.
I hope that's not the case.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's
maybe Poch might play 3. I don't know, but
I think Poch,
because that's what he did in pre-season. Right?
I think Poch, when you look at the teams he's managed before, he likes a really solid foundation, and I think it could be Lavia, Caicedo,
Enzo.
And Enzo.
And that ain't bad, is it? That ain't bad. Just before we move on, obviously this is your position. This is your position, and we have a laugh here sometimes, asking what your price would be, etc., etc. But just on the prices of central midfielders, it's gone insane.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stupid money. Enzo Fernandez, 106.8 million. Declan Rice, 105 million. Caicedo, best part, 115. Even Lavia now, going upwards north of 50, 55, etc. Has it gone mad, or is this just the going rate? Are these players worth that, and who's the best of these three?
Well, a few questions there. So it is the going rate because that's what people are paying. It has gone mad, yeah. I would still be, if I had any input at a club, I would still be talking about anyone you're going to spend £100 million on has got to be a game changer. And when I say game changer, I'm talking Harry Kane. I'm talking
Haaland,
a Lampard type midfielder, a Gerrard.
Oh, but for midfielders, right? Okay.
Yeah, a Mo Salah.
De Bruyne.
Yeah. Somebody who can win you games on his own.
Yeah.
Somebody who consistently changes the outcome of games. Now, some people could say defensive players do that. They don't. They don't. They keep you clean sheets and they get the ball to the match win.
The guys who can score goals.
Yeah. Now, in terms of these three, Enzo Fernandez is looking like he's not going to be a holding player, which makes sense because he has got quality technique and he can see a pass. If I was to choose out of Enzo Fernandez, Declan Rice and Caicedo, there would be a lot of factors. The main one being who else I had.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because if you had Casemiro, you know what I mean? Or that type of conversation. But in terms of reliability and proven, I'd go Declan at the moment because he's done it for longer. More
in this league, yeah.
In terms of ability, you'd probably say Fernandez is the most creative out of them.
Yeah.
But if you're going to take 100 million off me and say who's going to still be worth it in 4 years, probably him. But you know what? They're all terrific players.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Caicedo, even when he was going to go to Arsenal for like 60, 70 million pounds at that point, I think he'd played 19 Premier League games.
Do you think Caicedo's
that good?
And do you think he's being moulded in the same like people? Kante, that type. Do you think he's different than Kante? Do you think he's like Kante?
For me, let's put some respect on the greats here. Yeah. Kante.
Can he get to that level though with what he's got?
No one can get about the pitch like Kante did. He's 4 sets of lungs, mate. That's. I actually see him as a bit of a different player. I see him as technically with his feet,
a bit better,
really clever with the ball, higher IQ. Yeah. Not taking anything away from Kante because for me, he's like one of the goats of that position.
But do you know what?
Not for me.
I think
like
Caicedo's going to be a terrific player.
Absolutely.
Make no bones
him and
about
Enzo Fernandez in midfield, and if you add Lavia into that, if they all three of them play, if it works how you think it could work, that is a formidable.
Well, I've had some beef with some Chelsea fans actually about Enzo.
What have you done? What have you annoyed them?
Well, you know what it's like. Tribal people get upset by things.
Yeah.
Enzo is a terrific player.
Yeah.
There's no question, and he could become much better.
Yeah.
But at the moment, the debate was about Chelsea players being in the Man City side, and the only real argument was the fullback area. And Chelsea fan, decided that they would throw Enzo in the mix. Now he's playing as an 8. And I said, well, he's not taking De Bruyne's place.
Correct.
So we've got to put it, when you start talking, because he had a good game against Liverpool, we can't start.
Now he's better than De Bruyne, basically.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was hearing. So I do respect him and I do like him.
Yeah.
But come on, let's put things where they are.
People don't like when you do. What I've learned, right, is that I get this with Liverpool fans because obviously they know I'm a Man United fan, so I'm never going to wish, them to be successful. Of course, that's the point of the rivalry.
Well, I hear you. I was doing co-coms Monday, and when Wolves, I was jumping up. I thought I had to calm myself down.
Yeah, because the gantry, mate. Some of them are looking in the Bobby Charlton stand and say, "Hey, this is Danny. We see you." But as soon as you speak about, and I've learned this even from doing stuff with Five, and you step more outside just doing a one club specific thing, and you must get this a lot. Talk sport here, etc. As soon as you start talking about other clubs and their players, back up against the wall. I asked a simple question the other day to Liverpool fans. I said, do you think that they will get what they need done by the end of the season? At least we didn't spend 80 million on Anthony. At least we didn't do this on Sancho. Where is he? Look at Bruno. This is the Liverpool section. I'm just asking a question about your team. That's all it is. And people just it's the tribalism in football. It's what makes us love it. But calm down, mate. I'm only asking a question.
Well, I think just shows the passion.
Absolutely.
We've all got the passion.
Before we get to our too early to predict section near the end, just want to really skim over some of the other things that happened and your initial thoughts. Newcastle. They won 5-1 against Villa, obviously goals galore,
Well, I think Newcastle were terrific. Yeah. It was good to see their new boys. I mean, Tonali looked brilliant. Yeah. Villa were a bit all over the place. It was a good first half, actually.
Yeah, it was quite close at some places.
I think you've got to be careful on the opening day to take one result and start making silly predictions because of that one game.
Yeah.
the predictions you had the week before the games kicked off should be the same as when they're finished, really, in my experience. But very positive signs for Newcastle. Look fit, look hungry again. Lots more strength in depth now, so really good for them. I thought Tottenham showed
changes. What did you see?
I saw a really different philosophy.
Completely different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basuma's been freed up.
Well, he was just comfortable because they had loads of the ball, but they pressed high. They really went. It's going to be fun for Tottenham fans watching them. They're going to concede
compared to what they've had. Absolutely, you saw the chances they did concede against Brentford. It's insane.
It's a back four. The fullbacks are flying in. They're going in and high. So it's going to be a roller coaster for Tottenham fans, but better than they've been watching.
Richarlison 9, Son now. I thought Son, not imposter syndrome, but I was looking at him and I thought he feels a little bit lost. Like, Harry's gone. I'm the main man. I'm the captain. Do I need to be playing up front now a bit? But he went on the right a bit. It will come. It's really early.
There's two things with that. One is new system for his own team that he's trying to fit into.
Yes.
And also playing against Brentford, who were tactically very, very astute.
Yeah.
Dropped right off.
Stifled him, didn't they?
Yeah, and when Son likes space to run into.
Yeah.
So he's never as effective when the team really drops deep.
Yeah.
Hence the fact teams do it against Tottenham. So that was a decent game. I thought Brentford did well without Tony as well. They deserve some credit. So both sets of supporters reasonably happy there. Brighton, what you'd expect against Luton.
Yeah.
Still a great result considering the players Brighton are losing. So just go and give them a good hiding.
Yeah.
Arsenal, I think we have to touch on.
Yeah.
I thought apart from the last part of the game,
some Arsenal fans were a bit worried, saying, I don't know about this. Havertz
spoiled.
as well.
When you get spoiled.
Is that what it is?
They got spoiled. Last year they were unbelievable. Till the last part of the season.
Joel having second thoughts about his title charge.
I think they'll be all right. I actually saw Timber's a blow.
That's a big blow. He's playing really well.
Yeah,
he's a good player, man.
It's also his versatility. That's a blow.
Yeah.
I think the fact he's going to mix it. I think what it showed is Arteta's Arsenal aren't going to be as predictable with lineups.
No, because he went. Look, Forest at home. Do we need four defenders? I'll tell you what, we're going to have a lot of the ball. Partey's going to midfield when we got it. Yeah, exactly. When we don't have it, filling it right back. And for the last part, it did work. But the last fans say no. When we were under the cost, he should have changed it. And this, that, and the other.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. They won. First game of the season, you just get one.
Yeah.
And then you start building and building and building. Forest are no mugs either. But Arsenal fans, that just believe.
Manchester City, obviously 1 out 3-0 winners. Can I ask you this just really quickly? With the players they've let go versus the players they've brought in, have they got weaker?
As it stands, I think they're weaker creatively. Only because Gundogan and Mahrez are gone. So if you take Gundogan and Mahrez numbers out, the only person that's come in from an attacking point is Kovacic, isn't it?
And he's not a provider.
He's not a provider.
No, which would show why they're trying to get Paquetá.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now De Bruyne is injured.
Yeah, they've got a game.
Yeah. But I think what it will do is it will give. I think it's going to give Foden a platform.
Yeah,
and a lot more games.
Free Foden.
I think he might play. I know he's not De Bruyne, and nobody is, but he's still a creator of goals, and he's still a scorer of goals. I think if you give Foden the role De Bruyne has been playing as a 10, 8, 10, whatever you want to call it, you start seeing some magic from him. But City are not going to do no business. I mean, if it's not Paquetá, it'll be someone else.
Yeah, they'll find a way.
Yeah, they'll find a way.
Some player we probably wasn't expecting, decent price. Really quickly, I just want to get your predictions. I'm just going to fly through these. This is match day 2. Forest, Sheffield United.
Home win.
Liverpool, Bournemouth.
Home win.
Wolves, Brighton.
Home win.
Oh, really? Think they do Brighton? Interesting. Fulham, Brentford.
Draw. I like Brentford are hard to beat. Fulham and Brentford have been close for the last 2 games. Yeah, with that Mitrovic looks like he's on his way. Yeah. Draw.
Spurs, United.
Ooh.
Man City, Newcastle.
Only tight though.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah. Well,
I think United,
we played
I think he'll give him a kick on the backside.
Do you think he'll play the same midfield 3 and say fix it or with smaller margins or change it?
Yeah, give it another go.
Okay. Man City, Newcastle. Nice game that. Newcastle back down to earth.
City.
Playing against champions.
Yeah. The only thing is City playing Seville.
Super Cup.
Yeah. So City win. Just close though.
Okay.
City will win.
Villa first home game after getting smashed against Everton.
Home win.
Yeah. West Ham, Chelsea.
Chelsea win. They look sharp.
They do.
They did look really sharp. And West Ham, they need to get more bodies through the door.
Yeah. And finally, Palace, Arsenal.
I think away win. No Elise, no Zaha. I'm sure they'll bring 1 or 2 in with the money, Palace. But yeah, I can't see Arsenal slipping up there.
Okay, right. I want you guys to get involved in it. We want you guys to get involved in this. It's a bit of fun. You said not to do this earlier in the show, but it's fun, so we got to do it. Away too early, 23-24 Premier League.
Go on, we'll both do it, yeah. Not just me.
Absolutely, yeah. You go and then I go. So then you guys get involved at home. So we're going to have champions, top 4, relegation, top goal scorer, assist leader, player of the season, young player of the season, under 23, manager of the season, and first manager to be sacked. And this is based off of 1 game. So we just got to have some fun.
Oh, so, you mean we're predicting based on what we've seen in the weekend?
Absolutely, which is impossible.
With nothing else?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit behind it, but there's only 1 game. So who's going to be champions?
Still City.
Arsenal going to win the league.
No, don't say that.
They might, no.
Well, I actually...
City.
If I was to choose between City and Arsenal, I'd want Arsenal. But
I want Arsenal to win over City,
City will win it, yeah.
City will win it. Top 4.
City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man U.
Man United, City, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Shout, even after Newcastle. We both missed Newcastle out.
Yeah, both missed them out. And do we really believe that as well?
Sorry.
Probably not. But
only because Champions League.
Yeah. And we're all labelling that. They could smash out the park and show they can handle both. Relegation.
Sheffield United, Luton, Bournemouth.
Sheffield United, Luton.
Only because, sorry, Bournemouth fans, only because they got a new manager who's not managed the Premier League before.
Yeah.
Dicey's been there, done it. Cooper's done it now at Forest. It's going to be tight. I think Bournemouth might just slip in.
Forest could go. I'm going to say the same for it come up.
Burnley. I thought they did well.
Did all right.
Yeah.
Did all right. But first game, innit?
That's because you hate Vincent Kompany.
Do you know what? I don't. As a Man United fan, I probably should. I actually don't. I really like him. I like what he's done. And obviously, I want him to do really well as a manager. Top goal scorer. I mean, Harry Kane's not in the league anymore.
Haaland.
It's as simple as that. The only person who can even scrape the sides, touch the sides, is Salah.
Yeah, Salah.
Really. And after that.
The only thing is, Haaland does get a lot of his assists from De Bruyne.
Yeah. But he's still going to have enough to outscore the rest.
Yeah.
I can't see. I would love to say Højlund, but it's just not going to be him, is it?
No.
Assist leader. De Bruyne is out for 4 months as well.
Oh.
Go on, say Ward-Prowse.
Maddison.
Maddison. Odegaard will be up there again.
Oh, good shout. Do you know what? Actually, without Kane...
Maddison's going to be... Yeah, exactly.
I'll stick with it. Just because he takes all the set plays.
Yeah.
And Tottenham are going to win games, score goals.
I'm going to go Odegaard again.
Yeah, it's a good shout, to be fair. You got me there.
Player of the season. The overall player of the season.
Oh, what are you thinking?
I can't look past Haaland because I just feel like they're going to win the league and he's going to be the top goal scorer again, and just think it's just default going to go to him.
Manager of the season. Will there be a surprise?
No, it's going to be Pep.
I'm going to go Vincent Kompany.
For keeping him up. Okay. First manager to get sacked.
First manager to get sacked is going to be... Oh, that's a tough one.
It's got to be David Moyes, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I'm with you.
Oh, it could be, you never know. It could be the Bournemouth one, but if it goes really bad.
No, I'm with you. Sorry, Moyes.
Teetering on the edge already.
Don't deserve it, but yeah.
He doesn't, and it's like, if there's a big enough sample size of it going wrong, they'll just go, right, you nearly did it last year. You won the cup, so yeah, there you go. Let us know your predictions. It's obviously tough, but that's how it goes. We'll be back again, same time, same place next week on The Take On. Take care, guys. Peace.